Welcome everybody. So I'm testing a brand new. Welcome everybody. So I'm testing a. Oop, this is why you test. All right, testing a brand new remote setup, so that way I can take this laptop that I'm on and I can work anywhere in the house, and it's remotely controlling my desktop computer that's sending the stream out. So let me know if you hear any hiccups, video chain, issues and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just working. I was testing to see what would happen if I did like a virtual background. So I'm just testing something real quick and we'll see how this works. Just testing this picture. And there. So now you should be able to see some of my dad's photography behind me. And stuff like that. But welcome on in, Scott. Firestone Rocks Drums. It's so nice to have you here. It's so nice to have the stream scribe here and everyone who is lurking, who's here early. We are live streaming on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Today we're working on final tweaks to this Scuba edit that we've been working on. We started work on this a few weeks ago, and then I did a second stream with the Stream Scribe as sort of the final segment of this week's Sports on the Hill podcast. So the podcast itself ended, but then if you stayed on Twitch afterwards, we continue to talk about it. I'm gonna have to go back through all my VODs because now they're putting a 100-hour limit, and I've over 300. Or sorry, of highlights, 300 hours of highlights. But now I'm going to be live streaming all my stuff to YouTube directly, and so I don't have to worry about having alternate copies of things. People can just go there and immediately the VOD is saved because it's live streamed on both of them. So going forward, I might not be highlighting as many things because it doesn't seem like Twitch wants us to be doing that. All right. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm working in my office to see if we can do this remote thing. Yeah. So, all right. Let's play the video back. We're going to watch a little bit of it and get some ideas on how we want to do our final tweaks. Feel free to any critiques, any thoughts, any questions, write them in chat and I will answer them. Also, let me know if the audio sounds like it's the right levels, because I don't have my audio bar in here, so I'm going to rely on you guys to let me know if it's too high or too low. Slight tweak here. All right, so we're going to zoom in on our timeline here. I don't think we need this lead up. We just need her and the getting very excited part. So we're going to shrink this down a little bit. I'm also going to take this second audio track and we're going to move it just over here until we do our final tweaks and we'll move it back. So it goes in here and then it goes right to cross dissolve looks like there. I don't know if I like a cross dissolve. Let me try a couple other transitions to see what we like. I'm gonna let it render for a second. Ooh, I like that one better. I think it's a quicker and it's less jarring. Welcome on in, Champ. Yeah, definitely go follow Champ. They've got some exciting wrestling stuff coming up this weekend, including some live stream reacts and their podcast. As always, Champ is a member of the roundtable on my Monday sports show. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, Champ. Hopefully your workday is going well. We're doing a little bit of a video edit. I'm also testing out some new technology. And so we're seeing what happens when I can take my laptop to other places. So I'm using my office. I have a second monitor in there and just the laptop, and I'm remote sending everything to my desktop computer in the other room and just testing out latency and seeing if it is. So if I'm not loud enough, if volumes need to be changed, if it starts skipping or the footage doesn't look good, so please let me know in chat, because it's kind of a little bit of a test stream to see if, maybe I can even work outside, or because I can create a hotspot in theory for my device. I can even remotely work, and then I now have some new commands that I will share with you, and the new commands will be able to switch between the different scenes. So now we have an SBR back screen, and if I do that, it should remotely trigger the Be Right Back. And then S game. This is actually a game stream setting, but it looked pretty good. So you can see that, but I also can do S share, but I think it's not active yet. I think I need to fix parts of that one. Yeah. But eventually I'll make all of these work for all the different designs and stuff like that. But X game is the one that I was using. I'm doing okay. I'm still sort of dealing with the fallout of no longer having my job, but I'm enjoying being able to do some art streams and do some stuff that I was unable to do before. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. So anyone who doesn't know who Low Bass Guy is, he's a photographer. He's also the founder of the web creative community, which I am a part of. And now I'm actually doing art on stream. So now it's even more fitting that I'm a part of an art collective. So yeah, of course. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I'm working on the Scuba edit. This is part 3. I was explaining before. I did part 1 last week. Part 2, actually, it's technically part 4 because I did part of it with the Stream Scribe on Monday afterwards, but we didn't get that far, so I don't really consider that really part 2. Then I did part 2 on Tuesday, and then really I'm working on part 3, which is final edits, adding title cards and things like that. So yeah, feel free to catch the Pokemon in chat. If you are watching us on Twitch. Thank you for everyone who's watching us on other platforms as well. All right, so let's keep on going with this. Oh, and I also explained Low Bass Guy to Champ and others in here. If the audio levels aren't quite right, if video starts to skip, anything like that, let me know. I'm doing a remote setup, so now I can work in my office and remotely send in my PC in my studio, and hopefully it's working, and hopefully it sounds okay. But let me know. Congrats on the catch. is my dad who's taking the picture, and in fact, the picture that's behind me on this virtual wall is one of his pictures. So I realize in watching the footage and the playback on your screen, you guys are getting the title safe view. There's actually more footage around it that you'll get when we get it in 4K. But you're getting a pretty good sense of it. There's very little. There's just about a little bit under and a little bit left and right that you're not seeing on your view. But I just wanted to let you know that you'll see a little bit more when the final version comes out. Let me go back to that transition. I feel like it could be a little smoother. Ah, there's something here. I noticed I saw something with my eye that didn't seem right. And so this needs to be gone. Um, better. Play full screen. So I have an idea here. If my dad takes the picture, what happens if I actually move some of these pictures into that spot? So he takes a picture, it triggers the slideshow of them, which I think need to be brought in a little bit quicker. I think these are too long. And then it goes back to the video again. Nice. Congratulations on getting enough points for that. That's really kind of cool. Yeah, you could do something about the web creative community if you wanted to, or something completely random. It's totally up to you. I don't think anyone's ever actually redeemed that, so that's impressive that you've gotten enough of them. Um, so let me just. I'm curious about a couple of things. I haven't. I didn't know if any of the footage or any of these special effects. Okay, so it does appear down there under it. Interesting. Okay. And I haven't tried a lot of these things on this scene, so I just didn't know if. Uh, okay. So I need to move that trigger fire window above all the other ones. Okay, but it still works on this scene, which is kind of cool. Um, and yeah, all right. Well, I'll try some other ones too. Do. All right. Anyway, back to what we were doing. So let's see how this looks now. It's a great question. I thought I did, but maybe I don't. Oh, I do. All right. I thought I had made one, but I wasn't sure. But if you want to edit that command, you feel free to add text, or we can even make a new one, or it can be completely unrelated. No pressure on that one. I would honestly let you edit this one and make another one. But anyway, it's up to you. Oh, okay. Let me do a permit. Um, can you just send me the correct link and I'll update it? That would be awesome. And yeah, perfect. All right. Command edit. Oh, I got it. I got it. Thank you, champ. But it's super fast right here. Boom. Oops. But thank you, champ. I really probably appreciate it. There we go. I think I did it. There we go. All right, back to this. This fish right here is a masked hamlet. It's super rare fish. Kind of cool. And it's fun. I get to teach you a little bit about nature for low base guy, and yeah, it's kind of cool. Actually, they're branding colors. And yeah, that makes total sense. I have my own website as well, which one of my projects I'm going to work on in the next couple of weeks is updating my website. Because I've sportsothp.com, but that's a subdomain. So I want to edit the main website and highlight a lot of use it as like a landing page. It will have portfolio stuff. I'll have 25 years of my website highlighted and the sports podcast. So I kind of want to have 3 different zones that people can go into, if that makes any sense. Anyway, masked hamlets are super cool. Very rare fish. Look awesome. Kind of reminds me of like almost like a Nightwing or like a superhero. Okay, perfect. So the timing's been pretty good so far, unless anybody has any changes that they'd like to see made. I'm gonna use this masked hamlet as kind of my bringing in the second song. We're going to try to do a bit of an audio fade from one to the other here as part of this. And cool. So if people don't know, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do 90-minute streams where I showcase different skills, different things. I mean, yesterday I did a Pokemon stream because it's Pokemon Day, but mostly it'll be like learning different art things and stuff like that. I've used the Adobe Suite for so many years, but I kind of want to learn some different tools, practice Canva, maybe even do some Procreate streams and things like that. So I'm going to try to do 4 daily streams a week for the next month, so the month of March, while I continue to look for a new job in the afternoons. So Mondays will just be my evening podcast, possible pop-up stream, but probably not. Tuesdays And Thursdays it's going to be either 9 to 11 or 10 to 12, somewhere's in that range. And I'll try to do 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then on Friday, it's going to be more of like a free play Friday where maybe I'll do game streams or other things as well. So that way I can do two dedicated streams to learning skills, one stream to maybe just doing something for fun, or if I'm really into whatever I'm learning and I want to do more on it, we can always do that on Friday as well. So just want to give people a lay of the land. The goal is to do 4 streams a week, possible other pop-up streams as well. My son really loved doing the Pokemon stream with me the other day, so it's a possibility on a weekend or a night that I might pop in and do some Pokemon with him again. It was really cool to get to watch him read the dialogue, and his grandparents get to watch it, so fun opportunity for that. All right, let's see how this audio transition goes. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Appreciate it. Those bubbles are way too loud. Okay, hold on. So these need to be brought down. Do this. Do this. So I like having the natural audio of the bubbles in there, but I just don't want it to be like too overpowering, right? And so I'd like it to range. So I'm looking at the audio levels here and the waveforms and comparing it to the waveforms of this. So if people don't know, do I have a command for Dan? Yes. Dan Tremblay is an awesome ambient musician, and I really love the album Walking Sunset Echoes. And so I'm trying to I'm working on a 9-part. I realize I have not said this today. I'm working on a 9-part scuba documentary or underwater documentary. 8 of the parts are scuba diving. 1 was a family vlog. And so if you take the 8 scuba diving parts, which includes this one, it kind of tells a story of the whole adventure using his music, not necessarily the order of Sunset Echoes, the album. I decided to choose the songs that fit each one a little bit better, but these are the last 2 tracks on that album, and so we are highlighting those in this. And then eventually I'm going to create vertical videos to put on other social medias like TikTok, Instagram, and Reels and other things like that. And so this video, the goal is to make a 10-minute video here, which we're getting pretty close to, and then I'll cut it down to 2 to 3 minute videos that are kind of be like the highlights of each section, right? Ooh, and not 2 is in chat if anyone wants to catch that. Anyway, so that's what we're working on right now, is trying to create the full longer piece. And then I studied interactive video design in college, and so the theory is at the end of every video you choose your own adventure. So the last video will lead into this one. This one will either lead probably into the documentary I did the previous year, but also maybe a second direction as well. Maybe going back to a video in case people missed it or only found this video. So yeah, that's kind of what we're working on right here. So let's take a look. This fish right here is really cool. It is a hogfish, not to be confused with the Spanish hogfish that I always see on the dives that are these yellow and purple fish. This hogfish here, we had gotten to meet on a different dive site before, and you're like, how would you know that you met the same fish twice, right? That would be pretty crazy. So this fish actually has its jaw outside of its mouth, and it's a well-known fish in these dive sites. And we had dove earlier in the week on the adjacent dive site, one that's not too far away from this one. And obviously fish are in the ocean, they move between places, and so we came across this same fish. Again, I love the markings of this fish. I'm going to go full screen for a second just to show you guys some of this. And let's pause it and you can scrub through it. So here you can see the jaw that's on the outside of it. And it was cool because I actually caught some footage of... I thought I caught footage of it eating, but maybe not. Oh yeah, it's eating right here. back it up a little bit. You can see that. Sorry. This fish right here is a hogfish, and what I was saying was it is a fish that we had met before on a different dive site, and then wanted to say goodbye to us. This is our last dive of our 11th and last dive of this vacation, and so it's kind of cool that we got to say goodbye to this really cool fish that's got this jaw that's outside of its face, which is not normal of them. It's very specific. I think that potentially it got hooked maybe before and it popped out or something happened to it along the time. But the markings of this fish, you can see what I shine the flashlight on it so you can see some of it. Really cool fish. You can see that it's eating right here. The jaw is on the outside, which it shouldn't be. It's also got a parasite right here, which is how I know it's the same fish. It's okay. I was just explaining the jaw of the Spanish hogfish. It was a super rare fish that we got to see twice. You can see the parasite here and here. That's why we know it's the same fish. Also, the jaw isn't usually outside of the fish's face like this. So, and then here we're going into a cool shot of a lobster. Oh, cool! I'll have to check out that TikTok a little bit later, champ. That's awesome. It's funny. I love the colorings of these lobster. Yeah, it's cool that it hung around and that we saw it 4 or 5 days later at a different dive site. Like I never expected to do that. They had told us on the other dive site that it was a fish that often frequented that site, but then we went to another one. This dive site is called Wild Hammer, which is nearby, and then we ran into it again. I was like, holy moly, what are the chances? But a lot of people don't really realize these. So this is a Caribbean lobster, which is different than like a Maine lobster if you're in the United States that have those like pincher claws things. I love the coloring of the lobster. It looks so cool. And what it does is it has this coloring to blend into the surroundings around it, which you can kind of see here. It's using these pincers to actually feel around and also ward off predators because it doesn't necessarily like that I'm hanging around, but also feeling the area around it too, which is kind of cool. I think that's maybe a young grouper down there. Hold on, there was like a visual glitch there. Let me see if I can figure out why that happened. It was because I did a cut, but the cut was kind of too obvious. So let me see if I can do like a fade, make it a little bit. Yeah, definitely something's happening here. Aha! I found it. We're gonna add a flow effect here. That should... No, too much. It might be just fine now that I cut out that. Yeah, I like to cross this off. It's a little easier on the eye. I also don't think we need quite as much of this shot. So let me take this in a little bit. And now do a cross this off. That's short. All right. There you go. I don't know if I need that for that long because that's my dad's coming into the shot, but I don't know if I want that. I feel like it takes you out of the shot to see a human there. Let me see. Boop. I think that's better. Yeah. Change this out fade. That sounds better. Okay. So sometimes when you're clicking the off button or you're touching the camera, the mic picks it up, right? So I don't want to draw people out of the ambient noise. So this is cool. Here are sort of the highlight of this video, or the second half of this video, which are these awesome squids, which I think squids are some of the coolest animals. And so you can see my mom in the background watching this. I have an idea. Light here. Light here. And I do this effect sometimes just to add some drama to the shot. So you can do a custom speed. And I shot this at 60 frames a second. So I can actually go down to 50% and have half speed. But I don't really want it to be that much longer. So what we do is we do a 90%. It's just a little bit longer, but it helps you sort of catch and it becomes sort of more serene. And you'll see the effect here. Hold on, sorry, let me render it so it looks good first. And then all right, let's try it again. All right, view. So it's not that much slower, but it's just slow enough that you can start to really zoom in on it. So if people don't know, the way I shot this footage, I'll show you real quickly. It's actually shot in full. So what does that mean? So it's shot in this sort of square format, right? So it's twice as tall as 4K videos normally are, right? And so that way I can shoot, and you can see above and below. And if I want to actually, move around in this, I can actually I can control the zoom as well as control some of the up and down movements of it. So this way, when I re-edit this for vertical, I have more information above and below that you wouldn't get when you're taking like a horizontal and then you just zoom in and crop, because you would lose pixels in that sense. So you'd lose some of the quality. As it is, you can see that I'm actually doing this at 162%, but because it's shot at such a high so many pixels at 4K, but 4K stacked in full, it doesn't look bad. I think most people are going to be watching this at 1080p anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I obviously want it to look good in 4K on YouTube, which is where we put all of our 4K videos. But this will be helpful for when I need to re-edit it for the vertical ones. So anyway. I love these shots that my dad took. These are unedited shots. Wild. They're cropped. That's all they are. My mom takes them and crops them, maybe a very slight brightening, but my dad shoots them, doesn't do anything with these pictures. My mom then steals all of his pictures and puts it on her Facebook and does a little cropping, but like almost all of it is very little touch up. It's incredible what this camera can do. It's got 2 strobes on it, so it sends 2 lights from both sides, and you get such a true color that I don't even get with because I don't have lights on my GoPro. So a lot of times when I want things to be true colors, you'll see me I have one hand I have the GoPro, and the other hand I have a flashlight. And so I'm able to use the flashlight to bring in the colors. I also use a red filter on my GoPro that adds red back in, because at depth below 30 feet you lose red, and you lose colors in reverse of or in the order of Roy G. Biv. So light refracts through water, and so the deeper you get, the more colors you lose. So the first color you lose are your reds and your oranges and all that sort of stuff. And so I use a red lens on top of my GoPro for the most of the dive, unless I'm at the surface. It adds some of those colors back in, so that way I don't have to do a lot of post correction of it after the fact. But one thing to note is if I get too close to the surface, sometimes the footage will get red. So often I will take that lens off and put it in my pocket if I'm at the surface. So here's an example of me using the ability to move within the frame. So you can see right here, my, I skipped too far back. Sorry, hold on. Where was it? All right, here it is. So you can see I'm actually going to move within the frame. So it starts looking up, and then we bring the shot down and then back up as part of the visual. So this is an example of utilizing having extra frames. And there I got to zoom in on that and make it more frame as well. So a lot of this stuff gives me the ability to zoom and do a lot of post-production video work, or if I'm shaking, I can correct it as well. These are queen angelfish, one of my son's favorite fish because he loves the colors blue and yellow. Sorry that the sprites for the newer Pokemon aren't showing up. I need to edit the program at the top of the screen that shows what Pokemon is in chat. But a Toadscool is cool because it's like a Tentacool, which is an underwater Pokemon, but the land form in the new games. Anyway, that's the one in chat if you want to catch it. Over here you can see there's a rock beauty, and you can actually see behind me in this picture is a rock beauty as well. And so you can see, in fact, my dad may have taken that picture on this day. Let me know if the footage is skipping or if it's pretty good, and how the audio quality is, if you wouldn't mind. I'm just curious. Oh yeah, Champ, he is. He's at school today, so that's good. I'm happy. He was actually feeling better yesterday too, but unfortunately they have a rule at the school where if you have a fever, you have to wait a full 24 hours until you get to come back. So, yeah, I totally understand that. But the audio sounds good. That's great. Yeah, because I'm basically remote streaming from a completely different side of the house than where the actual stream computer is. So I'm curious. What's cool about using Zoom is the latency seems pretty good, and I'm doing everything on this computer, so it should be just straight up sending it to the computer. But if anyone sees any video hiccups, let me know. But thank you for asking, Champ. Yeah, he's doing much better. those fish, by the way, are really creepy looking. They're called squirrel fish. So let me just zoom back a little bit here. They always like hanging out in coral beds under rocks and stuff. Ah, I see why there's a flashlight going on. So what people do when they want you to see something, you circle a fish with a flashlight. You don't want to obviously blind them. And that's a way to tell people, hey, there's something really cool about this animal here. Because you can use sign language and stuff underwater. We do a lot of that to try to tell people, if something's wrong or, hey, how much air you have or whatever. Anyway, so one of the cool things about this, though, let me see. Can I click down here and then let me see if I can get it. There it is. Perfect. You can see there's actually a parasite on this fish right on the top here of its forehead. And it's a parasitic animal on top of that fish. It's kind of cool, rare, not something you see on a ton of fish. We've actually seen it on two different fish on this video. But yeah, that's really cool. I love these sponge corals. They're very cool. Often fish use them for their home and stuff like that, and they're beautiful colors. I don't like that transition because it's way too dizzying. All right, so we got the fish, like that part. I think we can just leave it after that. All right, let's see here. We can then maybe pick it up with my parents if we want. Let's see how that. I don't know if that's even needed. I think maybe it just goes right back to the surface here. It's kind of a selfie mode. For people that don't know, I'm actually using the GoPro 12. It's got a front-facing screen, so that way you can actually see if yourself is in things. So I was just playing around with different shots. I don't know if I'm going to keep any of this, but I just was having fun at the end of the dive. Right here, I was doing crazy things here. So maybe I want this. See my parents behind me. I don't know if I need any of this. You can see it starts to get very red as you get closer to the surface. So that's why I take off the lens that we talked about before. And I might keep that part because it's kind of cute. The last time I actually scared her underwater and then she hit me. And that's actually the end of one of the videos, so it's kind of a callback. Probably enough of that. I need to have this back on there so we can end it here. It's kind of a cool way to end it. All right, let's take a look at back to the back of the room. All right. So I'm a big fan of working smart and not hard when you're doing video editing. So if I've already created title cards, why make them again, right? So I'm going back to a previous one. Let me close this project. And we're going to go back to this one. And we're going to add it here. And see how this looks. All right, and I'm going to grab part of this audio, upload it here, copy it. So we're going to bring back the first song as part of the credits. Oops, accidentally deleted my audio track. Let's go back to here. Actually, honestly, I'm not even sure I need it. Because this audio is still going. Probably for long enough. Let's see how it looks. I need to render it, but I think that's okay. Kind of like that it ends because it's the last part of the documentary that ends in silence. So I don't mind that. All right, sounds good. Let's grab a couple other titles and things that we want to grab from over here. We're gonna grab all of these titles. Okay. All right, so I'm just trying to grab some of these different title files. Just I don't think I have any. Oh yeah, here they go. All right. So photos by David A. Gross. We've got the song title. Reveal in browser, reveal in Finder. And I'm gonna grab this so I get all the spelling correctly. All right, there we go. So we got this one. Let's change the name. This is part 9. Called Ending at Wild Hammer. Welcome on in, Dreaming Truth. Nice to have you here. Wild Hammer, did I say Grand Cayman? Just making sure that's what it's called. Wild Hammer. Yeah, looks good. All right, welcome on in, Dreaming Truth. It's so nice to have you guys here. And um, what is? Now I'm curious. It just pulled an emote that I don't even have. Weird. Um, I thought that maybe it didn't have access to it, but I don't even know what that emote would have been. Anyway, I gotta update that. But we have AI now that will do let people know when we're doing stuff. And I think it's supposed to let people know when there's an ad break and stuff like that. Whoa! Thank you, Dreaming Truth. Tier 1 for 3 months in advance. That is amazing. That is very kind of you. Yeah, so people that don't know, while I'm searching for a new job, I'm doing some morning streams, doing some art stuff, and today we're doing video editing. This is a Scuba movie, and so we're doing some of the final tweaks of that. We've got about 30 minutes left, and yeah, it's yeah, it's cool. It's cool. The bot will pull additional information as well about them, so it's kind of fun. And yeah, they are a great streamer as well. And thank you, Champ. I'm gonna do the Champ command as well. Champ is our mod, but also on our sports podcast as well. So yeah. All right, let's see. So ending at Wild Hammer, I think is going to be our title. Bring in this part here. And let's just take a look at how that looks as a title card. That looks pretty good. I think I'm going to shorten this time here. So we're going to go filmed by, and then when this changes to this scene, we have dive, and I got to just update this title here. This is, oops, dive number 11, and dive say Wild Hammer. Yeah. If anyone has any questions about what we're doing, anything at all, I'm happy to answer any questions about editing or diving or any of that sort of stuff. So yeah. Well, thank you for lurking with us, Dreaming Truth. I really appreciate the 3 month sub. That's huge. Yeah, we're now up to 16 subs. Pokemon in chat if anyone wants to catch that. And back to this edit. All right, we got Wild Hammer filmed and edited by. Let's go back to the photo thing, and we're gonna check it out from here. Okay, I need that photos by to end when the photos go away. I think it makes more sense. This makes more sense, and this can be moved up a little bit more. All right, view, playback. Oh, let me just let it render. Thank you everyone for being a part of this stream. I appreciate it. I see a lot of people lurking while they're working. It's great to have you guys all here. Thank you for everyone tuning in on any platform, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, Twitch, or Kick. We are live streaming on all of them right now. Obviously, if you want to play the game and the games, Pokemon and other stuff, and have interactive things, I highly recommend you come over to Twitch, but I totally understand that some people don't want to do that. But thank you guys for tuning in. I know some people are doing a media blackout today, and so it means a lot to me that you guys are still willing to come through. otherwise you're not actually seeing the titles on your scene. Let me just do a render real quickly. But hopefully you guys are all having a good day. Here we're doing some renders real fast to make the quality a little bit better. So some of the titles you're not seeing because it's under the title safe of this stream, but it is within the title safe of when I finally do the final export. So yeah, that's why things are getting cut off a little bit. So I just want to let you know. We got about 50 seconds left of this render. God, I love this MacBook Pro. It's an old machine, but it still works so well. It's crazy how fast it can render footage. I remember working on MacBook Pros in college when I was using Final Cut 7, and it would take 20 to 30 minutes to do a render like this. To export it, it would take maybe an hour to 2 hours. Now I can export a 10-minute video like this in about 10 to 15 minutes, which is pretty incredible at 4K. So it's pretty crazy how far. And this computer is old. The new ones are so much better. What year is this one? This is a 2020 M1, but now they're probably 4 times as fast. But I like this one because it's really small and also still has the touch bar, so I can do edits and navigate and move stuff around using the touchscreen and creating hotkeys, where a lot of the new ones have a longer battery life, which is nice. Although this one has like 6 or 7 hours, but you don't have the touch bar because they gain 3 hours of battery life by not powering that. But it's like having like an iPad built into your computer. Anyway, I love it. Anyway, going back here, we got film and edited by Robbie Gross. We got dive number 11, Wild Hammer, photos by. So this is again part 9, but some of the parts had dives. We do 2 tank dives during the morning, and we do a 1 tank dive for the night dive. That's how you get to 11 dives in a week. And then our first dive was actually an afternoon dive where we got to see a shark, which is really cool. We usually only do morning dives. So, all right, let's take a look at this again. So it does say David A. Gross below this. I know you don't see it. It has my name under that. And under the dive 11 it says dive site Wild Hammer. For people that don't know, stingrays are my favorite animal, so I just love documenting them. Ever since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I went to Grand Cayman with my parents, and I was snorkeling above them, watching them dive with these stingrays and stuff like that. And it was just a dream of mine to be able to do that. And then when I got a little bit older and became a teenager, I got certified, went to scuba camp, got advanced certifications, and always wanted to be a marine biologist and like do transects and do all sorts of stuff. That never happened for me, but I love documenting these locations over time, and through the over 50 videos I have on my YouTube channel, you can watch as these locations in Grand Cayman have changed. I started documenting them in 2018 and almost every year since. So it's cool to see over the years the locations change, some of the animals come back, and some are different, and it's really interesting. For people that don't know, last year I did a documentary that featured Twitch musicians from all over the world. Each video had its own 2 years ago, I did my first series with Dan. So Dan Tremblay's music has been was a part one of the ones that was a part of last year's as well, and so it's kind of a trilogy, if you will, of Dan Tremblay's music between the last three full-length documentaries. So you can watch all the parts combined, and tells a story, or you can watch one or two dives at a time, and that way you can do them in bite-sized chunks. And now I also do reels that are even faster, and highlights where it's not necessarily this tells the story in order. The reels will just be the best shots, all trimmed down, what looks great vertical, not necessarily in order, just as almost like a teaser trailer, like an ad for what we're doing on YouTube, to encourage people to come over. But if they just want the highlights, a lot of people just want the TLDR nowadays, so they have that opportunity as well. So that's a grouper under there. These shots of these shrimp, coral banded shrimp, so amazing. This is a sea cucumber here. It's almost like a throwback to the last video, where at the end of that video we saw a rolling sea cucumber as you could watch it move through the ocean, which is cool. This fish is called a remora. They often tag along with sharks and rays, and follow them around. And you were watching the subbucal pump that's over here. I think it's called a subbucal pump when that's stingray. If it was in a shark, I know that's what it would be called. But it's passing water through its gills so it can stay still. Some sharks don't have that, and that's why they have to constantly keep moving. This is the Spanish hogfish, so different than the hogfish that we were featuring before, but this is the one that's the Where's Waldo fish in my life, that every time we do a dive, me and my wife, every time we see this fish, which is crazy, no matter where we are in the world, it seems. And it's our wedding colors, yellow and purple, so I always feel like it's a symbol of our love. And diving with great whites is one of the few things on my non-photography bucket list, says Low Base Guy. Yes, I've never dove with great whites, but I do love sharks. And it was unfortunate. There was a hammerhead shark that came on one of the dive sites while we were there, and I missed getting footage of it. But I did get a nurse shark in the first video of this series, so that was cool. It was sleeping, and we got pretty up close to it. But yeah, I love sharks. I actually studied shark biology at that summer camp, where we would actually fish for sharks, bring them on the boat. We would put tags in them, so that way, but they were back in the day ones, not because this is, oh man, like 20 something years ago. And so it wasn't ones that actually have tracking devices on it, but it's a tag, and people would scan the shark when they bring them on board, and then they would update where they caught that shark, and they would release it, and that way they could follow. That's how they used to follow patterns for sharks back before they had like actual live tracking stuff that they put in them now. So really cool to fish for them, hold them down, do that, release them. It was a really interesting experience. I have dove with some more dangerous sharks in my life, bull sharks, hammerheads, and things like that. Hammerheads are less dangerous, but bull sharks are definitely dangerous. So love sharks, and I love shark skates and rays. They're my favorite family of animals in the world. Wolves are such interesting creatures. I love this picture that my dad got of it. It's really cool. My dad inspired me to do this. He actually bought the very first GoPro, and he would shoot a little bit, but he really doesn't like editing, and so knows that I love editing and stuff like that. So he gave me the GoPro and said, "Why don't you shoot our dives?" And I did, and I edited them, and I used that GoPro for 10 years. It was a GoPro Hero 4. And then 2 years, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, I finally upgraded to the 12, which has motion stabilization built in, much better white balance, can do that full frame 4K. It even shoots at 5K. I just don't have the hard drive space to have all that footage, and almost everything is 4K these days. And so I had no place to even upload them if I edited a 5K video. And so, yeah, anyway, so it's the quality is night and day between the two of them. It's a great point. So Low Base Guy says it's interesting. The number one spot for deadliest sharks flips between great white and bull shark from year to year. I'm more inclined to believe the bull shark purely based on the numbers. There are way more bull sharks than there are great whites, and bull sharks can breathe in fresh water, so you see them up rivers. All true facts. Bull sharks also will attack just for almost like for sport and for fun, where great whites usually do it for food and when they like see that it's they're a prey. So messing with a bull shark is, I think, much more dangerous than messing with a great white. Not that you want to mess with either of them, but yeah, bull sharks just are very, very aggressive sharks. They are obviously smaller than great whites, but size does not really matter when aggression is really the key point here, especially with attacks. Yeah, I'll just tell a quick story. The one time there was a kid at summer camp who we were snorkeling, we weren't even diving, and we saw a bull shark in the water, and he was using his flippers to like flip at it, like pushing against it. And I grabbed him so fast and back paddled so quickly. I was like, "You're an idiot. You're about to get your foot bitten." Yeah, it was. Um, Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I was just telling the story of why I agree with you that bull sharks are more dangerous than great whites. But go talk to your boss. But all of it will be in the VOD if you care. Oh, a Tandem Mouse is in chat. Man, lots of new Pokemon in here. The graphic is not working above us, but I'll work at that at some point. So let's do a Pokey Catch Ultra Ball. I don't think I have one. I don't. And that Ultra Ball just missed. So, bummer. Anyway, rare Pokemon in chat for sure. The family Pokemon. pulling up a new song and I haven't done a song ID yet. So let me fix that. We're gonna grab this song ID. We're gonna find out where we are here. I'm gonna bring it in here so it's not during the picture part, but all right, so we're gonna go here, we're gonna reveal in browser, we're gonna reveal in Finder. I'm gonna copy the name. And we're gonna put that here. Right, we're gonna let it render for a second. All good, champ. All good. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Appreciate you all. This is a fun little stream. We've got about 8 minutes left in the stream. We're going to end at about 11 o'clock Eastern today and raid out. But thank you guys all for being here. Again, I'm trying to do these 90-minute to 2-hour streams. The goal of this was to finish the long form video. I think next Tuesday I might show you guys how I make reels out of this video. I think that would be a fun little lesson. And we'll work on that next week. And then after that week, we will do a couple of different art projects. I was thinking about doing work in Canva, and then maybe at the end of March, doing some work in Procreate as well. So, and if not, I might do Canva for the rest of the month or other projects, and then do Procreate when I come back in April. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at here. All right, last 5 minutes of the video. I don't like how that ended. Yeah, we can leave it with the fish leaving. We don't need to come back. There we go. I wonder if it'd be better if I had like a cross dissolve or something. don't think I need this to come back here. So you have the fish there. Yeah, there's nothing really usable in this. All right, let me just see this. All right, I'm almost done. All right, so we take this blade here, and I'm gonna bring it back in there because I don't think there's much. This is very shaky in this footage right here. So, um, play full screen. All right. I really like how that all came together, and the audio ended up being perfect for it as well. Delete this there. We have a trailing sound here, and we should be good. And look at that. Our goal was 10 minutes, and this video is 10 minutes and 6 seconds. So that's pretty darn close. All right, I think I'm pretty good. I might do a couple of final tweaks offline. Next week on Tuesday, I'll come back and show how we turned this long form video into a reel. And let me just it's okay. We're gonna do it offline. Yeah. So let me just find a quick place for us to raid real fast. And then I will send us over there. Oh, welcome on in, Artsy. We're just finishing up right now. We've done an hour and a half finishing up this video edit, but the VOD will stay up if you want to see parts of it as well. And later on, I'm just trying to pick a place to raid right now. A lot of good people on. You know, I haven't visited Krissa the Cyber Bard. I don't know if I've ever actually gotten to raid her. So let's just do that. We are going to raid Krissa the Cyber Bard. And then raid. And we'll create a little thing. We got also our sub raid. And yeah, it's generating a raid message right now. And feel free to catch the Sneasel in chat right before we leave. Sorry, that shark is a 1K bit badge, so that might not work. So just double check that. But you can always, if you are just a regular sub but don't have that, you can always use the Charizard, or you can use the one above the dive one into there. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to thank everybody for tuning in and being a part of it. Yeah, I'm going to switch to my BR back screen as we fade out. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, Tuesday we'll be back. I'm going to do a video edit stream on how you convert a long form video into 2 reels, and that'll be our project for next week. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and we will be back on Monday with the Sports on the Hill podcast at 9 o'clock p.m. That'll be our normal podcast stream, and then the next art stream will be Tuesday at either 9 or 10 o'clock, sometime in that hour, for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. So really appreciate everyone for tuning in.